Hello, welcome to your screencast solution for Invoice2. I hope that you tried the practice WOD before looking at this solution. And let's get started. So, of course, we're going to take a look at what we need to do, but let's start our stopwatch there so we know how long it's going to take. And we'll go click on Invoice2 and take a look. And it says for this WOD, you modify sales receipt practice WOD for an algorithm to determine shipping costs. So let's take a quick look. This is what we are starting with. And it looks like we're going to fix any problems with Invoice1 before continuing. Add a new line on the receipt for shipping, so that would be this. Calculate shipping based on the order. It should be based on the subtotal and use a stepped shipping amounts. $2 for a subtotal up to 50, $5 for an order up to 100, and 5% for 100 or more. It says this has to be an algorithm, so that means that it's not going to just use a particular example like this. It should work for any subtotal. So whatever this subtotal is, this shipping will adjust according to this policy here, which is $2 up to 50, which means 50, not just $50, but less than $50. So that's less than, not less than, equal to. Similarly, for anything less than $100, and then for $100 or more, it's going to be 5%. Print out the shipping, there that is, and calculate the total, which means add this plus this plus this. Print that out in bold. Okay, and it looks like we need to tell what that shipping policy is, and it says be sure to test out your code. No problem. So as usual, we're going to get started by looking at Invoice1. So here's Invoice1, and we're going to just make a copy. Okay, and we'll call this Invoice2, and the project location will be Invoice2. I noticed that in class sometimes when it doesn't work, it's because at least on the PC, you need to manually type this project location in. Oh, actually, it says the project location. No, that's fine. Just make sure that that's right. There it is. The project locate folder is right there. So copy that, and let's close this, and let's get started by running that. And it says it's the local web server. That's good. And I noticed the project URL isn't there. That's a problem. So this should be, I wonder if I can get that to come back. There we go. Localhost, and it shouldn't be localhost like that. It should be localhost Invoice 2. Okay, so let's see if that works. I notice that that's a problem. Sometimes this project URL isn't working or isn't set automatically, and you have to manually put it in. It seems to be some sort of bug with NetBeans. Okay, so let's just test that out. And there it is. Okay, good. So we've got that running. Of course, as usual, we want to set this up. We actually want to set this up with our NetBeans connector. So let's move this over to the side here. I don't know why I'm having trouble with that. Move that down. It takes longer to get this all set up. It'd probably be a good idea if you come to class with the WOD with this all set up. At least, you know, side by side like that, so you don't have to spend time, but I'll spend some time doing this. Here, this we need to set to Chrome, and there. Now we got our NetBeans connector. Pow! Excellent. Okay, let's look at our source code. So, plan of attack. It says we'll just do exactly what the instructions said to do. It said add a line for shipping, so we're going to add a line for shipping here. Then we'll calculate what that value is, and we'll put a sample value in for now, but then we'll calculate what that value is using the algorithm and then test it out. So we need to figure out in our table first to add a new line. That should be easy enough to do. This is row 5. And let's see, let's probably just do this above the below the tax here. Okay, let's see, here's total, and we'll add a new line. There's tax right there. Okay, so here's our tax line. And why don't we just copy this like that? So we'll just copy like that and paste that in there. And instead of tax, we'll call this shipping, the variable shipping. I guess it's also going to be a dollar amount. And we'll just call this shipping. Okay, let's see if that shows up. Oops, I made a little mistake there, it looks like. Got an undefined variable. Okay, so that's okay. That's just an undefined variable. So what we need to do is define shipping as something. So we'll put that up here. And after we calculate the subtotal, it says compute tax, we'll just say compute shipping. And right now we'll just say shipping equals 2. We'll just save that for now, see what that looks like. Okay, good. There it is. It's showing up okay. Shipping equals 2. This is sort of our test. Now, I probably should have started with this rather than put the line in, but I wanted to make sure that works because then whatever I have, at least I have that running. So the first thing to do is implement the algorithm for shipping, and it's going to be based on subtotal. So we have the subtotal here, which means we still have it available there, and we should probably put some comment here that it's $2 for subtotal less than 50, right? And $5 for subtotal less than 100 and greater than or equal to $100, 5% of subtotal. Okay, so this is going to be a little if-then else, because you can see that if the subtotal is less than that, it's $2. Shipping is $2. If it's less than that, $5. Else, it's 5%. So we'll start with the if dollar subtotal is less than 50. Notice we don't put a dollar sign there because this is just an amount. Okay, and get in the habit of putting the curly braces in, even if only one line. Not necessary, but it's always a good. Is going to be equal to 2. Again, you could say 2.00, but it doesn't really matter. It's going to convert it to these 2 decimal anyways. So if it's that, good. Okay, might as well test it out. And you see that our subtotal is less than 50. It's $36.89, and notice the shipping is $2. Just to see if that's working, let's put a 4 there and see if that converts. Oops, see, there it says 4. Okay, so that's working okay. Go back to 2. And now we want an else if. Else if what? Else if subtotal is now less than 100. Now we don't need to put it's greater than 50, greater than or equal to 50 and less than 100, because we wouldn't get to this if this were true. So we're taking a bit of a shortcut, but if you put that other one in, that's okay too. Okay, shipping equals $5, right? And last and least, and else can also have a block, else shipping equals 5% of the total. So that would be multiplying by 0.05 times subtotal. Okay, we're not quite done yet because we need to compute the total. We need to add that in. So subtotal is subtotal plus tax plus shipping. Okay, good. So let's see if that works. So our total is 4101, and let's double check to see if that works. There, 4101, that's correct. Okay. So let's go, and we're about 10 minutes in here. So we're pretty much done. Last thing to do is just test it out with some other things. So we can test it out easily by just doing another subtotal. So we'll just say dollar subtotal equals something greater than 50. So we'll choose 70 there, and you see how that went 70, and that changed to $5. And let's make that one. Let's make it if it's 100, right? Then it's going to be 5% of that, and that's exactly $5. That's perfect. Okay, so that's worked. That works. So I'm going to call this at let's say 11 minutes, and there's your solution.